with Bishop Dale C. Bronner.
1 Corinthians chapter 5 and verse 6. Your glorying is not good, he says. Do you not know that a little leaven leavens the whole lump? Therefore purge out the old leaven, that you may be a new lump, since you truly are unleavened. For indeed Christ our Passover was sacrificed for us. Therefore let us keep the feast, not with old leaven, nor with the leaven of malice and wickedness, but with the unleavened bread of sincerity and truth. Now, leaven is a substance that is used to produce fermentation in dough. In dough. You need dough. Fermentation, for those of you that are not familiar with fermentation, that means that you're not vino drinkers. But fermentation, is a gaseous kind of a process. When you have leaven produces a gas that lightens the dough. Not makes it lighter in color, but it lightens the substance of what you're working with. You have to be careful, in other words, of bringing people in your life that begin to detract from your substance by making you light. Light in your commitment. You don't even care about anything. You become careless and irresponsible. That's because a little leaven, just a little leaven leavens the whole lump. Now what leaven does, what we call leaven today is called yeast or baking powder. It makes the thing rise. It puts fluff in it because it's a gas that makes it swell up. When people get the big head. And so I brought something for you to look at today. It's white lily. One man, somebody said, he asked him, he said, I bet you don't even know what kind of flowers your wife likes. And he was expecting to hear something like roses and chrysanthemum and lilies and that kind of thing. He said, I know my wife's favorite flower is Pillsbury. Well, this is white lily. Now, please rest assured, I don't work for white lily. But this one here, this one on my left and your right, it's a special kind of flower, and it's the flower, it says on here, self-rising, because it has yeast in it. That means you just put heat to it and it'll blow up. You put it in the oven, it's going to rise, it's going to get puffed up on you. Ever give a person a compliment and then they just, you can tell that it's going to the head because some leaven, somebody told them they were cute? And it's self-rising. It's self-rising. I mean, they don't help anybody else. Anytime they're trying to deal something with you, they're trying to use you for some of their own self. Anybody know anybody like that, that's leaven, that's self-rising? Now, I love bread. I mean, any kind of bread. I really do. I'm a bread lover. There's a lot of it that has this leaven. A little leaven leavens the whole lump. It leavens the whole lump. And see, this is self-rising. But this on my right hand here is all purpose. There are some people, when you get the right people in your life, they're all purpose. They help you to understand that you are here for a purpose. It's not just self-rising, somebody just blowing your head up just so they can get something out of you. Oh, you look cute today. Can I hold $10? Oh, girl, you're losing weight. I need $20 for my gas. See, that's self-rising. Folks that'll just inflate you. And it's just all about building you up. Just about helping you to build your own kingdom. But when you get all purpose, it's about building his kingdom. You're about doing things that actually help other people. They just came out with an article in Science magazine where science has actually proven that money can buy happiness. And the article got my attention, that money can buy happiness. But it says the only criterion with that is that you can't spend the money on yourself. It says it can buy happiness if you use the money for others. They said even as little as $5 given to another person actually increases the well-being and happiness of the donor, the giver. And it really is science confirming. This is a brilliant man from Harvard, has a PhD from Harvard University, works at Harvard along with two other co-authors of the article from the University of British Columbia. And it mentioned how that you're giving something to help someone else actually makes you feel happier. They're corroborating the biblical principle that it is more blessed to give than it is to receive. Oh, I just love being with Bible scholars. Isn't it a wonderful blessing when science begins to prove things that God knew all along? That you can increase your happiness, you see. But you know, when you're doing it for other people, that is not self-rising, that is all purpose. Because everything that God does is on purpose, with purpose, and for purpose. God has a purpose in everything. And let me just remind you today that anybody who can walk out of your life and cut off from you, they were not necessary for your purpose. Are you just going to allow people to come into your life and lighten you where you have no depth to you? It perturbs me sometimes, and I try to talk something of some sense to people, and then they say, man, dude, that's heavy. That's heavy. And they act like they can't even understand what you're saying because that's heavy. No, the problem is that they're so light, that they've been around stuff that has got them so puffed up into themselves that they can't deal with the weightiness of having purpose. We were formed for purpose. We were saved for His purpose. We are saved and called. Saved and called. 2 Timothy chapter 1 verse 9. You're saved and called, not according to works, but according to His purpose. Purpose. And so we're made. You know, Jesus said, you love me, feed my sheep. What are you going to feed them? Feed them some good old bread, but make sure it's all purpose. Make sure that it's made with all-purpose flour and not self-rising, because then now you're trying to let people see you. Now you're trying to brag about the fact, you know, you're really not even giving honor to God. You're almost saying, you know, the Lord used me to lay hands on so-and-so and to get so-and-so healed. Then the next thing happened. The Lord tells me to go over there, and before you know it, it becomes an idolatrous worship of the unholy trinity of me, myself, and I. But when it's all purpose, God will use you to bless somebody with something, and you don't really care who gets the credit, because something happened in this person's life and they went home and it changed their family's life, and things turned around and somebody got off of drugs and this person was delivered from their habits of lust and pornography, and it's because there was purpose that was brought into their life. Because teenagers, more than anything else, they need purpose brought into their lives. Their lives will go into dereliction if they don't realize that I am designed for more than hanging out on the corner, for more than just watching television, for more than just listening and playing video games all of the time, to more than just having an iPod in my ears pumping other stuff. That I am created for more than sitting around shooting the breeze on the telephone. That I'm made for more than just running to the movie. I'm made for more than just going to the mall. I have a purpose. I'm born with purpose in me. God created me for purpose, and unless I get involved in the purpose for which I am born, I'm not just here to go somewhere and flip burgers and lift fries out of some grease. I'm here for purpose. Maybe I'm supposed to change somebody's life down there while I'm flipping burgers, but I've got a purpose bigger than the job that you might see. I've got a purpose deeper than just cleaning this thing and watching some kids in a nursery. I'm building individuals. I'm giving something. I've got all purpose in my life, and God is using me to build somebody up, but it's got a substance to it, and it's not a bunch of fluff. We've got to be all-purpose people. We want to make stuff that's made with purpose. If you're going to do something, do it with purpose. Don't just do it. Do it with purpose. And let your fellowship be the byproduct of your purpose. Let your fellowship be the byproduct of your purpose. Let your fellowship be the byproduct of your purpose. Why do you think doctors often have other doctors as their friends? Because medicine is their purpose, and their fellowship comes out of that. Why do you think that Hollywood people have other Hollywood folks as their friend? It is because their fellowship and their friendship comes out of their purpose. Comes out of their purpose. Not out of your self-rising, trying to do things and rebel and go in a different direction than God. We've got to be folks that's made with all purpose. You have to ask yourself when you meet a person, am I better as a result of having this person in my life, or am I worse? Please don't answer that out loud. I know that there are some of you that wish that you had never met certain people, because you can tell that your life began to go downhill and the mess started. Ask yourself the question, have they helped me or have they hindered me? Do they encourage my dream or are they dream killers? You see, the law of the inner circle says that those closest to you will determine your level of success. Birds of a feather not only flock together, they also fly to the same destination. And so you got to see, where is it that I'm flying? Where is it that I'm flying? Where is the flock going that I see flying? And is that destination someplace that I want to go? Take a look at the folks that are in your special circles and see, is this someplace that I honestly want to go? Is this someplace that I want to go? You are not only known by the company that you keep, you're also known by the company that you shun. And so there's something that is a tremendous difference there. Let me just tell you a few people that you should avoid. Mark them and avoid them. Mark them and avoid them. But notice here in 1 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 9, he says, I wrote to you in my epistle not to keep company with sexually immoral people. Some of you all said that I wouldn't have any friends if that were the case. But notice here, I wrote to you in my epistle not to keep company with sexually immoral people. Yet I certainly did not mean with the sexually immoral people of this world, or the covetous, or the extortioners, or idolaters, since then you would need to go out of the world. He says, but now I have written to you not to keep company with anyone named a brother or a sister who is sexually immoral, or covetous, or an idolater, or a reviler, or a drunkard, or an extortioner, not even to eat with such a person. He says, listen, I'm not telling you not to associate with folks that are outside, but I'm talking about folks that's inside. Because if you're friends with folks like that in the church, folks who are supposed to be saved, it will begin to send the wrong message to you that it doesn't matter. He says, it's all right, to have lunch with a prostitute. Because you see, you understand where she is. She's on the outside. You understand where he is. He's on the outside. But now when you got somebody that's so-called serving God and then they're still living like somebody out there, he said, you'll get the wrong message that it's okay. You'll think that God is smiling at this stuff and said that it's okay. And that is not the case at all, that God does not wink at sin. And when it's in the house, and that's what I'm saying, God, when he judges things, it's not based on anything that's happening in the world, it's about what's happening in the church. And when Paul here was writing to the church at Corinth in 1 Corinthians chapter 5, he said, you all have got fornication happening in the church that doesn't even happen in the world, that a man would sleep with his daddy's wife. He said, y'all got some freaky stuff going on, some sick stuff going on. And he says, such stuff ought not to be. He said, you need to turn that person over to Satan for the destruction of the flesh, so that in the end, maybe his soul can be saved. But don't you have fellowship with somebody who's naming themselves a brother or a sister in the faith, and they're living like hell. You cannot walk with God and run with devils at the same time. We're going to judge the world. He says, for what have I to do with judging those who are on the outside? Verse 12. Do you not judge those who are inside? But those who are outside, God judges. God judges those on the outside. Therefore, put away from yourselves the evil person. Put away from yourselves the evil person. Evil is always determined by purpose. Anything that pulls you away from your purpose is evil. If something takes you away from your God purpose, it is evil. It doesn't have to look evil. It doesn't have to sound evil, but it is evil. Or am I driven further away? Closer to my purpose. I've driven her closer to her purpose. Our coming together has been confirmed by purpose in our lives. And had she pulled me out, and had I been out living in the world like some unsaved person after I came to know her, then I would have known that that was a wrong relationship for me. But I am grateful to God for his grace. I'm grateful for his mercy of being able to allow me to be connected with somebody who understood my purpose. and who could propel me toward my purpose. But you have to watch out for people, number one, that drain you. That drain you. You ever know people that drain you? You know that there are some folks, as I said, your cell phone will ring, and you know the reason you don't want to answer because they're going to drain you. It's like, I don't even have the energy to talk to them right now. I didn't want to deal with, I can't deal with her today. And you immediately know that. I can't even deal with her today. Because you know they drain you. They drain you. People, I'm talking about that drain you of time, that drain you of energy, that drain you of money. You know, some folks, you know, you don't even hear from them until they need something. And you know when they call you, some down on the inside of you said, okay, what is it? What they want? What they want. I know that they want something. And guess what? What they're asking you for is generally something that's going to help self to rise. It's certainly not going to be about their purpose. And so people that drain you, you have to steer clear. Avoid those folks that drain you. Number two, avoid those people that delay you. You can get hooked up with some people and all of a sudden now your priorities and goals are thrown off and you are delayed. You are delayed. Abraham couldn't get to where God wanted him to be because he took his daddy with him. That's why God told him, get away from your kinfolks. His daddy's name was Terah. Terah means delay. You can get with your kinfolks and your kinfolks can delay you. If folks are not understanding your purpose and helping to propel you to your purpose, they can actually delay you. You have to steer clear of people that delay you. People that drain you, people that delay you. Number three, people that deceive you. You know, they come up in your life and you know, and they purported that they were one way and then they turn out to be another. Oh, you thought they were all sweet and innocent and then you discovered that they were not. Or either they were showboating, you know, big balling, taking you out to nice places, impressing you. You really thought they had something. And then you get in a relationship and discover that all of the debt. I mean, you're looking at the car and now you discover that they really have more car than what they can afford. And the house is leased. They're not even building any equity. Now, things are not always as they seem. You know, you get deceived oftentimes in relationships. So there are some people, you know, that will drain you. There are some people that will delay you. There are other people that will deceive you. You want to stay clear of those people. Remember, I said that there are only four kinds of people in the world: people that add to you, people that subtract for you, people that multiply you, and people that divide you. And you have to pull yourself away from people that subtract from you and people that divide you and draw yourself to people that will add to you and people that will multiply you. It's all about relationships of whatever comes your way. But now here, you're still clear of people that drain you, people that delay you, people that deceive you. But now these are the kinds of folks that you want. You want people in your life that develop you. People who challenge you, people that bring out the best in you. A best friend, a real good definition for a best friend is a person who brings out the best in you. That's a friend who brings out the best in you, that knows everything that there is to know about you, but they love you anyhow. And they bring out the best in you because they understand your purpose and they are pushing you toward purpose the whole time. They develop you. They develop you through experiences. They develop you through support. They develop you through love. They develop you through prayer, through their wise counsel. They just develop you. God uses people to help you. God will use people to help to develop you. May I just remind you that when God was dealing with Moses, did you know that the first 5 plagues that God used Moses to bring against the Egyptians, the first 5 were worked by Aaron and Aaron's rod? Number 6 was worked with Aaron and Moses. But number 7, 8, 9, and 10 were all worked by Moses alone. Because God used Aaron to come in to help to develop Moses. Moses didn't have the confidence to do it without the development of his brother Aaron. God will send people in your life to do it for you, to do it with you, and then to watch you do it. That's development. That's development. You got to have people that will develop you. And may I just tell you, these people that develop you, oftentimes that these are mentors. I bumped into a guy the other day in the gym that was a professional basketball player, probably 6'5", 6'6". And he reached down in his shoe. He looked like the epitome of health and fitness. And he reached down in his shoe and he showed me a scar on his ankle where he had busted his ankle. And he had had surgery to replace the tendons in his ankle that had just been shredded. And he told me that they took not one tendon from a cadaver, but they took 2 tendons from a cadaver because of his height and weight to be able to support him, and put 2 dead folks' tendons on his ankle to replace the tendons that he had destroyed in his own body. And the lesson that I learned from that is that oftentimes that God can use stuff from folks that are dead to support you while you're living. I meant stuff that we are able to stand today because of the support of somebody that has died. Some of your best mentors are already dead. Did you hear what I'm saying? And you can pull stuff that supported their life, that allowed them to be able to stand. The man that was beside the pool of Bethesda, he couldn't walk because his ankles had no strength. And perhaps his tendons had given out. And God can allow us to get something from somebody who's dead and actually support us. You have to get with folks that actually have the ability to be able to develop something positive on the inside of you. It can make a difference to be able to pull something from dead folks. There are things that I learned from my daddy who's going on to glory, my grandparents that are going on to glory, and I'm standing in the strength of something that was an upholding standard in their life, and it upholds me and undergirds me today. So people that develop you. Number 5, people that deposit in you. Not only folks that drain you, don't steer clear of folks that drain you, people that delay you, people that deceive you, but then you draw to people who can develop you, and people, number 5, that deposit in you. 2 Timothy 2:2 says, the things that you have received of me, commit thou to faithful men who shall be able to teach others. There's folks that's got a deposit in them for you. You need to get those deposits. Get those deposits because there's an asset that is in them that's designed for you. God has placed something in other folks for you. Make sure that you surround yourself with people that have an ability to be able to deposit in you. Number 6, people who have the ability to direct you. They can direct you. The Bible teaches in Proverbs chapter 11 and verse 14 that there is safety in the multitude of counselors. And they have the ability to be able to direct you, say, hey, this is the way, walk you in it, turn not to the right nor to the left. These are individuals that have the ability to be able to direct you. You have to understand that there are people in 3 main categories, that there are those who are with you, this can be a spouse, this can be friends. These are people that believe in you. These are people that are with you. Then you've got other people who are not directly, physically with you, but they are people who are for you. They're for you. They believe in you. They're for you, but they're not directly with you. I mean, you can't turn to the right or to the left and see them with you. Not everybody who is for you is directly with you. And so you can have people that are with you, and you can have another group of people that are actually for you. They believe in you. They are praying for you. They are for you. And then you've got the greater one, the intuition, the inner teacher who is in you. You'll have folks that's with you. You'll have others that are for you. And then you've got the great one who's in you. Greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. And number 7, you want to draw yourself to people who will defend you. Nehemiah chapter 4 verse 14 says, fight for your spouse, fight for your wives, fight for your sons, fight for your daughters, fight for them. If a person won't fight to get to you, they generally won't fight for you. People that will defend you. I mean, that when you come into marriage, if that's your husband, that's your wife, listen, you don't let your relatives talk about who you've chosen. You better become that defender. Don't let it be between them. You say, wait, just a moment. No. You become that defender. You need people in your life that will defend you. God is the greatest defender of all. Just begin to categorize people in your life and see whether they are assets or whether they are liabilities. To see whether this is somebody that's nothing but self-rising in them, seeing what they can get and how much they can use you and how you can help them. Or whether you can find people whose lives are connected to purpose and who can identify purpose in your life, and they'll encourage you in the purposes of God. May I just tell you that we want to be purpose-oriented individuals. We'll say, God, that's me. I need you. And let me tell you, there's a friend that sticks closer than a brother. You have to watch the company that you keep. But when you get Jesus, he'll help you more than anything else that you could have ever seen. Will you bow your heads? While heads are bowed and eyes are closed, nobody walking, please, in reverence to God. These individuals whose hearts are at a precarious place. Some of you have made some of the greatest mistakes in your life because you were all right, but then you got hooked up with the wrong person. Or you'd raise a son and a daughter And they were okay until they made the acquaintance of this particular person that wouldn't leave your child alone. And then they derailed your faith or the faith of your child. If you're in this place today and you know that Jesus is the friend, the one that believes in you, he's not a dream killer, he's a dream giver. And he's a dream encourager. And he's a dream enabler.
Thank you for watching Power for Living with Bishop Dale C. Bronner. Until next time, God bless you.